Runners. So, if you saw my intro, Nike is back. Nike is killing it right now, but not in the way we all hope for. All right, so there are most companies have like two versions. They have their running version, and then they have their trail version. And most of us are all road runners. There's probably some people who dabble in both, but you're either really one or the other. And there's a lot of differences between them. One, you're on the road, and the other, you're on the trail. But more specifically, there's a lot of talk about like which is harder, which is more competitive, who has more fun. And in most cases, I really do believe that trail runners have more fun than road runners, because trail runners aren't really obsessed with time. They don't care as much. They're just out there competing to finish the course. Yes, I'm sure that time is important to them, but like they're hopping from stone to stone. They're jumping through creeks. I mean, when we were kids, that's what we loved to do. I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, but I can't be the only one. That we always loved to go running through the woods if we had that possibility. We love the idea of adventure, and that's what trail running is. It is an adventure. Whereas road running, that is for the I'm trying not to insult trail runners, but it's more of the like hyper-focused mind. We're more scientific in our approach. You more obsessed with numbers and things and pushing ourselves to the limit. Again, not that trail runners don't, but it's just a different take. And that being said, Nike has been not doing great in the road world. Look, Vomero Plus is a great shoe, and the Vomero Premium, possibly one of those comfortable shoes, and people who run in it love it. I don't trust myself to run in it personally, but I know that it's a really good shoe. There's the Pegasus. It's a shoe. Yeah. And of course you have the Alpha Fly 3. That's their big shoe right now. The whole Alpha line is their like golden butter right now. Of course, there's the Vaporfly, Zoomfly. There's a lot of other shoes in between, but we're really looking at the Alpha Fly, waiting for something to happen. And it's been so long, and some of their shoes feel so old with their foam that they're really falling behind brands like Saucony, Puma, Topo. They're like pushing the limit and changing things up, and even Brooks feels like they're catching up to them. But that is on the road. Meanwhile, on the trail, Nike is doing some awesome things, and I'm talking about the ACG, their all condition gear unit. So I'm going to put this in a way that I picture this being, but I don't think it's the right way. This is how I'm wrapping my mind around it. So a little bit of history for you guys. I'm a film person, so this might be interesting. This might be old news, but a long time ago, Apple was, that's Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was known for Apple, and Apple was known because of Steve Jobs. They're hand in hand. But, however, they reached a point where they fired Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was out of a job. And what does he do? He goes and buys a small company, and he creates Pixar. And Pixar has now become like a multi-billion-dollar film company, short animations, fantastic. And for a while, they've in my opinion, but initially it seemed like they couldn't do anything wrong. Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Cars, Finding Nemo. I know I'm missing some more in Monsters Inc. It seemed like every film they did was beautiful and had a heart, and it was just so good. But then came Disney, and it just swallowed up, and they became synonymous. But Pixar executives said, we will be owned by Disney, but we will operate independently. And I don't know how that's going now, but that was like the deal they had then. And so Pixar kept its heart and soul after being swallowed up by the money-hungry Disney company. Now, what does this have to do with Nike? It has to do with this. Nike is a brand, as a company, I do not like. I do not like how they treat their athletes. I've read too many books for it to be just like smoke, but there's got to be some fire somewhere. It sounds like they're too obsessed with performance and that doesn't care about their athletes a lot. I question some of their business essays, their aspirations. It feels too corporate, whereas other brands feel like, smaller brands, even Puma. All right, Puma's a big brand, but to me, it feels like Puma is like, we got you. Like we're gonna push the envelope. We're trying to change things for them, for our people. Hoka has that kind of like wholesome feel to it, but I know these are businesses, so I could be completely wrong. But I'm just saying in general. But inside Nike, they have the ACG line, the all conditions gear, and I do not know if they're working on their own, but to me, what it sounds like is it is, and that's where they're really crushing it. First, they really came on the scene with their holy shirts, and I've bought one, and I get it. They're really, really nice. They're super nice. Probably are they overpriced for what they are? Did you cut some holes in a shirt? Probably, but the holy shirt is really cool. Unless you ask my wife or anybody who's not a runner, or some runners, then they'll tell you how it's not cool at all. But that was a cool shirt. And then, I went to a Nike store because, look, I know it's corporate, but I'm still going to go into a Nike store. And they had a lot of more gear than I imagined. And it was really nice. I like the material. It's comfortable. And I'm not even a trail runner. And then they're coming out with their ACG shoe line, which is their Nike's trail shoes. And they look really cool. Now, I'm not a trail runner. I used to run trails when I was younger. Never serious. I was always more of a road person. But I did compete in them. I enjoyed them. They were a lot of fun. I just preferred being on the road. And to this day, I am still that person. So there's probably going to be someone who runs trails who watches this and say everything I said is stupid and wrong and fair. But I'm just giving you my take on things. And my take on things is Nike just revealed their new shoe that is going to make me run trails again, because I don't want to be that person who has that super shoe in the wild. What does that mean? That means like the people who go out there and they're like going grocery shopping in their Alpha Flies. They're wearing their carbon shoes to go to work meetings. Their carbon shoes in the gym when they're working out. Like they're meant for racing. Keep them for that. And probably like trail shoes, especially the really trail shoes, are meant for trails. You don't wear them around as much, although probably be more acceptable depending on the shoe. But they're making a new shoe right now that really, I need to get it. Probably if I don't run a trail in my life, I will still get this shoe because it is so cool looking and sounds so awesome that it is a must have for me. And I will start training for trails just to have that shoe. What shoe is it? I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the ACG Pickeljus. Nike, I am so proud of you because you've done something I've wanted for such a long time. All I've wanted was for some shoe company to stop taking itself so seriously. Enough with all these crazy names. Oh, this is the ASICS GT 5000 version 3. This is the Hoka Cielo X1 3.0. This is the Adidas Hyper Boost Edge Plus 2. Like all this stuff. Like, dude, have fun with it. Like people, I don't know people who goes, oh, that's a badass shoe because that must be a badass shoe because of that name. People don't say that. Like, we don't care about what the shoe. Look at the Rad UFO. The Rad UFO is a fun shoe and it has a perfect name for it because it is fun. But then they made the Rad Synth. You're falling back in line. Stay fun, stay cool. And this is what Nike, they named the shoe Pickeljus. The only thing would be better would have been if they named it Beetlejuice and made it all purple and black. But they made it Pickeljus. let me give you a bit of background about Pickeljus and why that is the name of the shoe. So there was a time, well, actually, it still is. You can still do this. A lot of trail runners are notorious for this, that when they're in desperate needs, when they are running out of all steam and they don't have like all these fancy stuff, all these gels and electrolyte drinks and mixes, they would drink pickle juice. So they're saying this is the shoe to get you through it. All right. So that is the idea behind the name of Pickeljus. Now, what did Nike make this shoe for? They made this shoe, and apparently they were like 5 years in the making of this phone, have really done a lot of research. And honestly, I get the push to like get things out faster and faster and like keep changing and keep pushing the market. But sometimes you gotta appreciate someone who takes their time, that puts out the right product. And that's why I have high hopes for the new Alpha Fly. I do. Because they've had all the time in the world, all this new tech has come in. They gotta hit this out of the park, and I think that's exactly what they did with this trail shoe. All right, so it's an aggressive trail shoe. So let me first tell you about the shoe before I go into who this shoe is for and why it's made. All right. So, this shoe is coming in at a 38 millimeters in the heel, 32 millimeters in the forefoot with a 6 millimeter drop. I did not give you the weight because they are still not decided. As far as I've seen, they're still working on it, trying to cut weight here and there. But from everything I hear, it's going to be a super light shoe, especially for how big it works. All right, their upper is a one-piece hyper. It's called a hydrophobic upper. It's a fly knit yarn. It's designed to repel water with a gator cuff that keeps dirt out. All right. Again, for someone who doesn't do trail shoes, that sounds like something a trail shoe should do. So that sounds pretty nice. All right. So from there, let's go to the one that we always love. We always love the midsole, and this midsole sounds awesome. It actually reminds me a lot of the Mountain Coast C1 in what they did, because it is a dual density foam. The core of it is the Soft Zoom X, but then around it, they put a firmer perimeter of like, I don't know if it's EVA, but some type of foam that really stabilizes it. And I saw in the video like how they do it. It looks like just two separate foams that like go together, almost like a Legos, almost like it just connects together, and you create this perimeter. But I saw the squeezing of the foam. It looks super soft. All right. So that is what your foam is made of. But let's go further than that. Not only did they name the shoe Pickeljus, but they shaped the shoe like a pickle. I mean, absolute genius. I mean, you can just see that kind of try to imagine the top of the shoe being gone and just look at that like midsole. It's a pickle. There's a pickle there. And God, that's a chef's kiss, Nike. Chef's kiss. All right. Now let's talk about the traction, because that's a whole new technology they're working on. It's called Goat Tech, or is it Goat Trek? I don't know. I think it's Goat Tech. This is designed for wet rocks and unpredictable trails. What I hear is they've done 20,000 miles of testing with this and talked to all the best athletes, and it is really meant for the people who are going up these massive rocks and down it. It's really made well for that. And the lugs in there, it's a 4.5 millimeter lug depth. Again, that's something I don't really know about. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's super good. I don't know if that's too much. I don't know. I don't know if lug depth is like another version of drop in the trail world. I don't know. But God, that shoe is gorgeous. And this is coming in at $275. So that's a pricey shoe. That's a very pricey shoe. That goes up to some of the highest pricing shoes. And the thing is, this has no carbon plate in it. So they're really relying on that foam. Bold. Very bold. But like, this shoe feels like Nike's swinging for the fences, and I cannot wait for it to come out. Now, it's not due to come out for a while. I hear late 2027. And so, like, you remember before, like, all, like, social media and, like, all these, like, streaming things, and you can just you go to the movies early. You went to the movie theaters early so you can see the previews. That used to be an event to go see the previews. If I missed the previews, I didn't want to see the movie. I wanted to go to the next movie because I had to see the previews. Now you can see previews anywhere. You don't need to wait for the theater, and honestly, the previews in the movie theater now are just a giant waste of time because they're like 15-20 minutes long, and honestly, previews like ruin the movie. But back when previews were good, back before all that time, and I used to be obsessed with going to the movie theaters to see the previews, you would see a preview for a movie that wasn't out until like a year and a half later. You were like, that movie looks incredible, and then you see the release date and you're like, why would you even tell me about that? There's nothing I can do. Like, wait, like, you build me up and now I have to wait, and that's never fun. And now I feel the exact same way with this shoe. Now I have a feeling that this shoe is going to sell out like crazy when it's released, so I have to figure out a way to get that shoe. All right, now I'm getting that shoe no matter what, period. Even if it's to sit up on my shelf and look at, because that's a beautiful shoe. But I do want to take it out. But that means I do have to do some training, because I don't want to go to like a gravel race or, you know, something on sand and run in those shoes. And although it would be very comfortable and I'd probably still really enjoy it, you know, I want to use those shoes for what they are designed for, not to be chopped around in like the super shoes in the wild. All right, so I really wanted to bring some information into that shoe and say Nike might be behind on the road, but with the trail, I think they're making something that's going to change the game. I really do. Now the only thing is, now I need to start playing that game so I actually get to use it. All right, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. Remember, be bold, be fast, be you.